Welcome on this course on data and how data can be the core of different business models. In this presentation, we will explore or present 6 different business models that are based on data processing or that involves data in some way. The first business model that we present is maybe the most obvious one and the most traditional one. The one where the value proposal to the market is data itself. So you the business consists in gathering data and selling the data. So the gathering of the data can consist in creating the data in the business, or can consist in collecting existing data outside of the organization, processing it a bit, and then selling it. So examples of businesses that follow this model are Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters is a worldwide group which is funded on the model that it creates or collects data of many different nature, and it sells this data to different agents on the market. So financial data, scientific data, medical data, news. So here you might see that I'm using data as synonymous for information, which is actually not correct. The distinction is that data can be an input for Thomson Reuters, such as a very raw material coming from different sources like the medical literature, or bulk numbers coming from stakeholders on the financial market. What Thomson Reuters does with this raw data is transforming it into information. Either this transformation is really intensive and data transforms into information which is sold, or in some cases the processing applied to the data is very limited, and you could say that what is sold by Thomson Reuters is still data, not information. So when Thomson Reuters sells to universities information about scientific articles, this is data, and very roughly processed data, not really information. Other business models based on collecting data and selling data are Nielsen, which is a worldwide leader in marketing research. Twitter. Twitter is basically providing its data for free to users, individual users, but Twitter is also selling data in large amounts and data from past years to companies interested in this data, and it happens through at least 2 affiliated companies affiliated to Twitter, which are GNIP and DataSift. Weather institutes in charge of collecting information and data about the weather sell this data to a variety of stakeholders. Telecom companies, of course, their main business is to provide telecommunication services to their users, business and individuals. But in the process of doing that, they collect a lot of data, for example, on where we are geolocated, while we take the calls, or just while we have a phone in our pockets. Telecom companies can sell this data to interested parties, such as cities interested in how people navigate their streets. So this is selling data in bulk. And a last example, IMDb, which is a database that on internet that anybody can contribute to, where you have information about movies, reviews, TV series. You can access it for free on the internet, but if you are a company and you are interested in the bulk of all this information, well, IMDb can sell it to you for a price. So that's the first of the business models, quite an obvious one, centered on data. Well, you can collect data and sell it. A second business model that is really fundamentally based on data is businesses that collect data and use this data to sell targeted ads. The list of companies that are based on this business model are quite famous. Google, Facebook, Twitter, which one do I have? Yes, Microsoft, Yahoo, LinkedIn. So all these social networks and web platforms offer to users free services, such as a search engine, or a social network, or a professional profile. The service is free, but while you use this service, data is collected about yourself. And if anything you contribute to your profile, any query you type in the search engine are recorded, and they can be used to basically identify your tastes and your interests, based on which specialized ads can be served to you. And these business models work pretty well, as the stock market valuation of these companies tell us. A third possibility to build a business on data is to basically use a data set as a tool for prediction. For example, Visa, the credit card provider, each time you swap your Visa card, it gives a lot of information to Visa, that they know where you swapped your card, for which amount, and they can know what is the state of your bank account, or what are the flows, financial flows attached to you. And this data they keep for themselves, so they don't sell this data. That's not the business model number one, but they can, that we've seen, but they can use this data to predict your credit score, for example. How can we trust you as a debtor? So their data is basically, and the data they collect about you is a kind of engine to create predictions, and that works pretty well as a business. In a completely different area, you have Predpol, which is predictive police, and this company basically analyzes data about past crimes and where they took place, to predict where the next crimes will be committed. And these services can be sold to police stations that need to deploy their resources in strategic places, because they can't be everywhere. So these services help them be at the right time, at the right spot. So banking, police. Another good example is Tilki. Tilki is a young startup founded in Lyon, in France, and what Tilki provides is a tool where when you send an email to a prospect, to maybe a potential customer, when you send an email to this person, you put in attachment the commercial proposal for this customer. What Tilki provides is that this attachment is hosted on the Tilki platform, this PDF or PowerPoint that you attach to the email. And Tilki, on their platform, they can monitor when your customer will open the attachment and for how long they will read the attachment, and maybe whether they will stop through the reading or do they continue reading the document up to the end. And that's an information they provide to the sender of the email. So the data is provided and sold. That's business model number one. But this data is also used to predict the chance of success of your commercial proposal, because Tilki has accumulated a lot of commercial proposals sent through attachments, and then they know which one have been accepted or not. So based on how long your prospect will read the attachment, and whether they read it quickly after you sent it, and whether they read it up to the end, they can score a likelihood of success to your proposal. So the data in this case is used as an engine for predictive analytics, which is a service included in the Tilki value proposal. And last example, InfraTest, a company in marketing research. That's a very interesting case I find. That's a case where you send a project, a concept of a product that as a company you would like to launch. So you send to InfraTest this concept, and InfraTest can then send a survey to customers, potential customers, asking these customers to rate your concept. Do they like it? Do they think they would be likely to buy it? If so, at which price? Would they repeat the purchase? How do they compare this concept of a product with closely relating products? InfraTest collects all of this information for you on your concept. And what they do is compare the results of this survey to the past surveys of their previous customers on related concepts. And they can return to you and say, well, compared to all the concepts that we tested previously on the same product category, your product concept fares better or worse than the average. So you have, that's a beautiful example where InfraTest, for each customer that they get, for each concept proposal that they test, they can integrate that into their database, and they will have an even better engine to benchmark the next concept that will be submitted to them. So here they can predict, based on the past concepts that they tested, they can predict the likelihood that your concept will be a successful concept or not. They never reveal that data, right? They just provide this predictive tool to you. So all these examples so far were basically possible up to the 2000s and are still there. But you have new business models based on data which are much more recent. And the fourth one I like to highlight is the one where data comes as an added feature to existing products thanks to the multiplication of connected objects that appears since, well, since 2005, 2010. Just throwing a couple of examples there. In the late 2014, you had a tennis racket by Babola, which is connected. It has electronic components in it, and they help the tennis player measure their statistics while they play. And all these statistics are transferred through Bluetooth to their smartphone, where they can basically evaluate the performance, track it through time, and compare it with other players. So data in this case is an added feature where a tennis racket without data is basically overcome by a tennis racket that adds a tool to track performance. And tennis rackets, but basically many objects now come with added data features. So a body scale now can be connected to Wi-Fi or to Bluetooth to your Wi-Fi connection to your communication box in your house, and it can track day after day your weight, but also the weight of different persons in your household, your heartbeat, because through your feet it can sense your heartbeat. It can track the temperature of your house, the composition of the air, so is it polluted or not. So body scales, but also watch by breathings as well, but also the quality of your sleep. Many objects now collect data as an essential feature that they provide. Nest, the company just acquired in 2014 by Google, where basically the thermostat, but the whole house is going to collect data about the way the family or the individuals use the house in order to improve efficiency of energy consumption, but also to enhance comfort. Maybe that thanks to the data that has been tracked, the algorithms can basically elevate or diminish temperature at the right time, so that you always live at a temperature which suits you best. And the list goes on. You can expect that in a couple of years, Google cars will be in the street, and that's a car where data is a centerpiece. Every data is collected to make it a safe travel and an easy one, because you don't drive. So business models where typical objects that we know for a long time are transformed by data, these business models are with us today, and that's really something that should be seriously considered in any industry. Data can also be added to existing services, not just products. So I have 3 examples there. ABN AMRO, which is a large bank in the Netherlands. So they have their online banking accounts as usual, but what they add is a service where the budget that you spend in, rent, food, car, and whatnot, all your expenses are summed up, aggregated, and compared to households that have a similar composition. So maybe you are a couple with 2 kids. ABN on their website will provide you with a benchmark where you can situate how your budget expense compared to a similar family, maybe living in the same region as you, so that you can benchmark whether you actually spend a lot in transportation, whether in terms of telecommunication services you pay too much as compared to the average, you can see all of that. Another example would be Amazon, famous case, very trivial, where basically thanks to data, the shopping experience is completely enhanced. You can browse for a product and see immediately which are the products that the other viewers bought after viewing this particular product. So these are simple features, but that don't cost a lot to implement and really add to the quality of the service. And last example on data as an enhancement for services, KLM, the airline company, they have this service where when you want to fly on their planes, you can log in with LinkedIn or Facebook and share your Facebook or LinkedIn profile with other passengers, so that if somebody is interested in you from a personal or professional reason, they might choose to sit next to you for the duration of the travel. So that could be creepy maybe, but I suppose they tested the service and customers like it. It's still online, and it can make a boring journey into an interesting meeting. So the program is called Meet and Sit, and that's an example where data, in this case simple data such as a LinkedIn or Facebook profile, can enhance the service. And finally, the last example, the last case of business model based on data I wanted to share with you was a more disruptive case where data and the mining of data enables complete transformations of existing products or actually creates new products. So to take a famous example, Uber, the taxi service, is based on the fact that Uber has the IT capacity to track where Uber drivers are, where are the people who need a drive, and Uber can match the offer and the demand, the supply and the demand. So Uber is something which is really from a digital age where mobile devices enable real-time interaction, and data treatment enables the real-time connections between the supply of cars and the demand for rides. Another example, which is actually interesting because it concerns exactly this course. We talk a lot about universities and business schools being rocked by a new revolution, which are MOOCs. These are the initials for massively open online courses that would transform the experience of teaching from in-class teaching with one teacher and 40 students to an online experience where you have one or several teachers teaching to hundreds or thousands of participants. This is very much a digital revolution in the sense that you need video equipment to do that and websites, but it's very much also a data revolution in the sense that how do you track the performance and how do you keep up with the profiles of hundreds and thousands of participants? Well, data helps you doing that. You can basically track the achievements of the students through weekly assignments, and you can also track the interactions of students when they discuss with each other. All of that is now or in the future going to change the way higher education is performed. Next example, Waze, this app you might have heard of or used. Waze is basically a GPS for cars, but it's an application where each driver can contribute to providing information on what they see on the road. If they see a traffic jam, an accident, maybe a speed control, they can contribute that in real time to the map that everybody sees when they use Waze. Coyote in France does the same. And these apps, again, are just mobile apps coming from the digital revolution, but at their heart, this is a data-driven business model where the sharing of data is at the heart of the experience. So we finish here with the 6 ways data can contribute to business models. Of course, I'm sure that these are not the only 6 ways data can contribute. I will be happy to get feedback on your contributions, but that's a good starting point. Thank you.